So good evening. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm Ciara D'Amico with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. I cover the North End, West End, and Wharf District. I'm here tonight to facilitate this meeting, which is a required cannabis community outreach. This applicant is for 300 to 399 Faneuil Hall, sole cannabis establishment. And I will let Josh and his team get started. Please keep yourselves muted as you present, and we can take questions, comments, or concerns afterwards.
Thank you, Ciara, Eric, Victor, and Mike. Take it away.
Great. Good evening, and thank you all for attending our community meeting this evening. My name is Eric Lawrence. I'm the CEO of Soul Cannabis, and tonight we are presenting our proposal for an adult use cannabis dispensary at 340 North Market Street. It is the old Durgan Park restaurant site. Soul Cannabis is a local, independent, majority minority owned business where economic empowerment and social equity certified applicants with the city of Boston and the state of Massachusetts. Our mission is to create an immersive, interactive experience, retail experience that merges music and cannabis cultures together, and that will provide a positive impact on the Faneuil Hall marketplace community, as well as the communities that have been negatively impacted by cannabis prohibition. Let me introduce you to our ownership team. We've put together a very accomplished professional group of individuals that have experience that span many industries, including music, finance, real estate development, construction, and retail. Myself, I bring 20 plus years of big box retail experience, which I hope to lend to this opportunity. I'm going to introduce you to our musical director, Boston's very own Michael Bivens, founding member of the legendary groups New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe. Victor Chang is our Chief Operating Officer. Eric Liedman is our public relations director. Todd Faneuil is our CFO. Fink, our programming director, and Adam Franklin, our marketing director. So this is our site. This is a historic location in the heart of downtown Boston. This, again, former home of the restaurant, one of the oldest restaurants in the country. This building has been dormant for 4.5 years. We're very excited at the opportunity to be able to revitalize the space and activate it and bring much needed additional business to the business community in Faneuil Hall marketplace. So together with this team, this location, we have a great opportunity to create a very unique opportunity and experience where we'll be able to provide equity and restorative justice to those that have been harmed by cannabis prohibition. This is a look at our vision board, some ideas that we have for the interior of building out the space and making it immersive, Instagrammable, and interactive. Now I'm going to pass it over to Victor, who's going to talk more about the location.
Thanks, Eric. We've heard from the community concerns that there are a number of retail locations operating or proposed for this part of the city. But we firmly believe that Faneuil Hall is its own unique retail ecosystem that alone can support a highly successful cannabis retailer. Faneuil Hall is seeing over 20 million visitors a year, making it one of the most visited retail sites in the US. And we believe this traffic will continue to grow given the number of future retailers coming to the marketplace. Next slide.
No, son noticias.
Drilling into this further, we looked at Placer.io data, which real estate developers use to look at traffic for proposed sites. The charts on this slide show where visitors to Faneuil Hall are coming from and when they leave, where they head to next. As you can see, the top 5 origination and departure destinations are outside of where our neighboring dispensaries are located. For example, nearly 19% of the visitors going to Faneuil Hall are coming immediately from home, and just over 19% head home once they leave Faneuil Hall. Next slide. Further examining visitor data, we looked at New Frontier's cannabis consumer data. New Frontier tracks 164 million cannabis users in the US based on their cell phone location. They identify cannabis users by cell phones that have spent time in a known dispensary in the US. New Frontiers data for Q1 of this year shows that there were more cannabis consumers that stood outside of the Durgan Park storefront for at least 1 minute than visited any of the open dispensaries in Boston. This includes more than 2 times as many cannabis consumers than visited the Ascend dispensary near TD Garden. The data is clear. Faneuil Hall has more than enough unique cannabis visitors, over 10,000 in Q1, to support its own dispensary without disrupting any of the neighboring dispensaries. Next slide. Here's the initial floor plans for the first floor of the store. Half the ground floor, shown here on the left side, will be used for queuing customers entering from either Faneuil Hall, which is at the bottom of the image, or Clinton Street, which is at the top of the image. By allocating half the floor, we will ensure that no customers will be waiting outside, which will facilitate a muted presence in the marketplace. After entering the space, customers will have their IDs checked at security before they enter the actual store. Prior to that, no product will be visible to any customer, and our security personnel will actively monitor this queuing area to ensure no one under 21 is present. Once through security, customers who have placed an online or express order can pick up their order and then depart the store. Next slide now. This is the second floor, shown on the left, will be the primary retail space where customers can meet with staff to get educated and to place orders. The third floor, shown here on the right, will be used for community space as part of our Give Back program that we'll discuss shortly. By having the primary retail floor on the second floor, we ensure no cannabis sales are visible to visitors walking in the marketplace. Next slide. Another attractive feature of our proposed location is the easy access to paid parking lots and public transportation. With over 35 paid lots, 6 T-stops, including Haymarket and Government Center, and 17 bus stops within a half mile of the site, we believe this will be one of the most easily accessible locations in the city. Now I'll turn it over to Michael Bivens to talk about our music-focused community give back plan that sets Soul Cannabis apart from being just another dispensary. Mike?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Victor. For me, attracted me to being a part of this team was everyone's coming from different backgrounds. But as a musician of 39 years, I thought, what can we add to this cannabis store that can add a little excitement, add a little flavor, and a little bit of ambiance? So we thought about doing a recording studio, Soul Studios, where we'll take $200,000 and we'll pay for studio time for aspiring people who want to record records. And it's all across all genres of music, rock, soul, pop, hip hop, whatever it is. And it will be up on our top floor. And I'll sit in myself. And for anybody that's 21 and under who cannot make it on our property because we're selling cannabis, we have another location over on Newberry Street, Cyber Sound, where they can go there 21 and under. But the whole thing is just for me to bring something that's a little bit different. Because I notice when you come into the stores, you know, you kind of show your ID, you get your stuff, you kind of go. So I have a nice volume of music playing throughout the place that make you feel good and make you want to go upstairs and go to the recording studio. So that's what I would bring to this table into the old Durgan Park. And walking through it, I could tell there was a lot of history in there as a restaurant, but even us as Eric and myself, African Americans, being on the soil of Faneuil Hall, I think that would be historic in itself, just from the history of the place. And then we can move into the impact. This right here is something we thought would be cool too, is bringing the DJ in to actually play music as well. That could be heard throughout the place, where we can get females and male and young and older DJs, radio stations, and people who just want to have the opportunity to showcase their talent. So we're going to have a revolving DJ setup where people can come and create the ambiance in our store. So as people get their product and walk out, they'll feel like they had a great experience between cannabis and music. And of course, like I said, hearing the music, it may make someone who used to do karaoke might want to go upstairs. And we'll be running that at different hours. We're trying to get in maybe 9 to 8 for the cannabis pot and do 12 to 8 for the recording studio in the community impact. Eric?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so continuing on with community impact. So utilizing this location and all the experience that this ownership group brings to the table, we'll be utilizing the space to give back. We'll allow small local businesses that come from DIA areas that have been impacted by cannabis prohibition. We'll allow them to come in and utilize our third floor to pop up. This will provide significant exposure to small businesses that would not otherwise be able to afford to get the visibility that a Faneuil Hall marketplace could bring to a business. We'll also use that space for gallery space, push cart space, and to host local community events as well. We've also partnered with two nonprofit groups, Feed the Hood and the Big Hope Project. Feed the Hood is a nonprofit that provides food and essential items to marginalized communities throughout Boston. We're going to partner with them and donate and reinvest into the vendors that are at Faneuil Hall Marketplace and purchase up to $2,500 monthly of prepared food items that Feed the Hood could then distribute to those marginalized communities. The Big Hope Project is an advocate for equity within the cannabis industry. They specialize in sealing and expunging records for minor marijuana offenses. Through that process, they allow people who would otherwise not be able to enter into the industry access to the industry. Diversity is very important for Soul Cannabis. So Soul Cannabis will hire a workforce that includes all of those that have been negatively impacted by cannabis prohibition, as well as the identified groups that are listed here. We won't stop, though, at just hiring a diverse workforce. Part of our inclusion plan will be to train, mentor, advise them so that they could provide upward mobility and advancement with their careers. We will also look to develop a diverse supply chain, where we'll have a minimum of 20% of our products from the identified groups. Security and safety. The Cannabis Control Commission has set strict regulations around security and safety. We'll ensure that we follow those guidelines to ensure that we're operating a safe and secure establishment. All of the associates that we hire will pass a state ID and national background checks. We will have high resolution camera systems that will cover the entire interior, every square inch of the interior and the exterior of the building. And our feeds will be available to the Boston Police Department as well. Our security system will be redundant in the event of a power outage. We will have a backup to it. We will maintain a limited access secure vault that has intrusion alarms on it. To avoid any diversion of our products, we will have and implement a 3-point ID check system where IDs will be checked upon entering the facility. IDs will be checked a second time at our security desk before entering the dispensary area. And then finally at our POS point of sale stations, IDs will be required. We will also work closely with the Faneuil Hall Marketplace security team to ensure that outside of our jurisdiction, no nuisance behaviors are taking place. So all of our customers that enter Stoll Dispensary will need to comply with our nuisance prevention policy, which will include no public consumption, no loitering, no littering, no soliciting, and no unlawful behaviors at all. We won't allow double parking, and to eliminate lines from forming on the outside of the building, we'll have an ample queuing area inside. We will post signage that indicates public consumption is against the law, and we will reserve the right to deny access to anyone who violates any of our nuisance prevention policies. So that concludes our presentation for this evening, and we would like to open it up to questions at this time.
Thank you for that. And if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, you can just use the emoji to raise your hand. Luigi, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luigi Natali from Representative Aaron Michaelowicz's office, and I'm just here to express his support for this project. And he wanted me to go on record to let everyone know. So he is in support of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Luigi. Next, hold on. I just asked you to unmute.
Hello, hi, good evening. Thank you for hearing from me. Let me just put on my camera if I can. Hello, good evening. My name is Ciara Samora. A little concerned with this presentation as I've been coming to know Eric Lawrence most recently. And it's unfortunate because I see Eric Lawrence looking forward to, opening multiple retail stores and looking to open within buffer zones and claiming to, be supportive of other economic empowerment applicants and social equity applicants, stating that here publicly. But we know that Eric Lawrence has been campaigning against economic empowerment applicants and undermining local social equity policy. So this is disturbing, this presentation that I just saw, because it really doesn't represent what I've been seeing in real life and what the rest of us in the business environment have been experiencing.
Wow.
And so, I would really encourage residents of the city of Boston and the business community to be aware and be aware of the type of business environment you're creating when you allow people to spread lip service about what they're going to do and who they are. But then they go and they pull lawsuits against other economic empowerment applicants to stop the same processes that they're trying to benefit from. So I think it's terribly concerning here.
Ciara,
And,
I would
ask Eric if he would withdraw lawsuits from other economic empowerment applicants.
This is a
before going
personal
forward with
issue
these type of,
from a competitor, and there's no place for this on this call.
I'm a resident of Boston, sir,
Ciara,
and I'm
Okay.
very aware of your business, of how you've been behaving out here in the business environment.
Okay,
you
thank
don't
you.
know me at all.
And you're undermining actual equity policy. So
We're
I
gonna
would
get someone
encourage
else a
people to
chance.
look into this applicant and how he's been acting in the business
Ciara,
environment.
Okay.
And I think people would be
please
very,
control the
very
call.
shocked.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm gonna go let someone else go. Slim, you can go next.
You're muted.
Yes, you're muted.
Hello, I'm in full support of Soul Cannabis. My name is Darrell Weathers. I'm a local business owner in Boston. I believe that the level of the programs when it comes to community engagement, the fact that the Mike Bibbins has a whole layout for community that isn't accessible to Faneuil Hall and historically what is placed, and to create a whole music venue for the community is, I think, it's amazing. And I'm in support of a better Black dollar out here, and having minorities work together, and building a staple down in Faneuil Hall is important. And I think this is a very important initiative, and I'm in full support of it.
Thank you. We'll go ahead with real estate. Randy.
Hi there. Thank you very much. I would like to just voice my support of this organization. I think it's the perfect blend of local, diverse, and thoughtful ownership. And Faneuil Hall needs its own dispensary for the same reason it needs its own coffee shops and bars, as kind of a freestanding ecosystem. So I'm in support. I'm also a Boston resident. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move next to Alexandra. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm a resident in the North End, and I'm walk past the hall every day. I was just wondering what policies you had in place for waste. I just know that garbage around here, there aren't, alleyways or anything, and with waste comes odor. So are there any measures in place to mitigate that? And if so, I'd like to just know a little bit more about that.
I can answer that. So, I mean, I'm assuming by waste, you mean the cannabis product waste. So first and foremost, right, public consumption is illegal. We'll have, as Eric mentioned, we'll have numerous signage to that effect. And if we discover any customers that are actively consuming in public, we'll take the action of banning them from the dispensary moving forward. That said, it'll be hard for us to patrol the neighborhood, but we'll have our security's phone number available to the public, right? And within the store. So if anyone in the neighborhood does see something, they can call us. We're happy to then, try to identify the person, and as well as if they are actively doing it, contact Boston Police.
Thank you, but I was actually more so inquiring about Sol's waste policies.
Oh,
And how you guys are gonna go about, basically literally throwing out your garbage, which I'm sure will also include cannabis. So.
Yep. Okay. So on that front,
and then, yeah.
Yep. So all of our waste has to be in a secure location, right? So a locked dumpster that is fenced in. We have to contract with third parties to have it removed. Actual cannabis product. So if someone returned something or something was deemed damaged, we actually have the Cannabis Control Commission has a destruction policy so that it is no longer consumable. Generally, the easiest thing to do, for example, is you put cannabis inside of a blender with kitty litter, and you literally chop it all up in a Ziploc bag. And this is all being reported and something that you report to Cannabis Control Commission when you are destroying a return product. So there is nothing in the waste that could be actively consumed. And like I said, it is all third party removed, which is another state reg.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything else? Tito Jackson, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Ciara. And thank the team for presenting. I actually know many members of the team. In fact, Josh is a former colleague of mine, and Mike is a friend of mine. I have not done this prior, but I do have to say that I actually object. We're in the same buffer zone, and I think we need to look at the density, and we have our approval. We have literally a cannabis facility right across the street from where I am on Broad Street, Rasta Roots. There is, in addition, another one on High Street that was approved. Kobe Evans and others have been, actually Kobe Evans and Kevin Hart were just approved at the corner of Devonshire and Water Street. And also the Cannabis is right up the street. In addition, we obviously know that Ascend is one of the longest stores that are open. So I think when we look at economic empowerment and people's ability to actually have a sustainable business, I actually disagree with whoever said that Faneuil Hall is its own world in itself. I don't believe that, and I think the reason why all of us parked ourselves around there is because of that as a node. I also will note that if you look at today's Boston Globe, there was a recent there's a story today that looks at a local restaurant and what it's like on different days, in particular Mondays and Fridays. And we've been here for about 2 years now and have been able to kind of look at that foot traffic. So I am, I guess, in support of economic empowerment businesses across the city. But I guess my question and my issue is a hyper concentration. And I'm not the party of no, because I actually spoke in favor of Victor's other store over on Boylston Street when he was before the Boston Cannabis Board. And it's actually, this is the first time that I am raising this. I didn't raise it for the first 4 other stores that open in this buffer zone. I think it's a thought around economic empowerment and how we all are able to do well and actually sustain across the years as well as the city. So I think these are some things that we need to definitely take into account, in particular because none of the stores that I just spoke about have actually even opened yet. And then we're actually entertaining yet another additional store. So I do have to go on record and raise many of these concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tito. Does anyone else have anything else they would like to state? I don't see anyone else's hands raised or in the chat. Okay, we can go ahead and end this meeting. Thank you, Josh, Eric, and Victor, and your team for presenting tonight. We will stay in touch, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me, you guys can email me. I will put my email in the chat right now. Other than that, we can go ahead and end this. So thank you everyone for coming tonight and taking your time out of your night to be here.
Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you
Thanks.
showing up and voicing your support and or concerns. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice
you.
to meet you, Ciara. And
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet
thank
you.
you for everybody that spoke and everything. Good to see you, Tito. I'll see you in the neighborhood. And we'll be back. And thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
All right, baby.